when we last left you, we were inside this great list that BuzzFeed put together of 21 80s movies that everyone should show their children.
Right.
Where do we leave off, Kat?
We left off at number 11, Rob, with The Labyrinth.
I don't like that movie. See, that falls into that Jim Henson category we were talking about. It's a little too weird for me.
Sure. I watched it for the first time about, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
That's me too.
It's a little dark, and the lead character, of course, anything but a damsel in distress, but she tries to correct the error she made in wishing for her baby brother to be taken away. And then you have the Goblin King, of course, who's played by David Bowie. It's a likable villain, and you kind of find yourself rooting for him. It was a great movie, I thought. I could see why it was such a big deal. I definitely think it's something if you're looking for something nostalgic and throwback to introduce your kids to, I think it's a good one.
I'd be more apt to go to this next one than Labyrinth.
I could see that. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, please.
Classic idea of imagining being able to shrink, and it turns it upside down by showing what it would actually be like, and that it would really probably be terrifying. Can you imagine being shrunk all of a sudden, and your backyard's now this expansive wild jungle, and you got to survive, and things like ants are 10 times bigger than you are.
It was so cool, and also changed the way I looked at the world. Like, it was so neat. This is the third one on the list that you've said so far that I remember actually seeing in theaters.
Right.
Keeping in mind, I was born in 83, so when the 80s ended, I was 7 years old.
Right.
So I remember seeing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Roger Rabbit, and Land Before Time, all in theaters. I remember those.
Next up, we have The Karate Kid.
Still haven't seen that movie.
Really?
Haven't seen it.
It was all about never giving up and being able to triumph even against adversity.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Daniel, you have Mr. Miyagi as Daniel San.
That's wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off, absolutely. Great movie. Next up, An American Tail.
I own this movie, but have never seen it.
I love this movie.
I know you do. Doesn't the song make you cry?
This movie makes me cry. I had a giant fifle when I was a kid. It's an amazing movie. It's a movie about love and family and facing your fears, and it's probably one of the better movies Disney's ever made.
That is not a Disney movie.
Or not a Disney movie, but rivals some of the better Disney movies. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, yeah, it's I've never seen it. I'm not avoiding it. Like I said, I own it. I own that and the sequel, Five Goes West, but have not seen either one of them yet.
You need to watch those.
I'll get on that.
Next up, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Another one, and people are going to be surprised to hear me say this, I don't really appreciate that movie.
Pee-wee is a little
weird.
Difficult for me.
Yeah, it's just like I know what he was going for, but when I just think of like comedic geniuses, I don't put Pee Wee Herman in that list to me.
Right, yeah.
Trying really hard to be funny and just missing for me.
Next up was Annie. It was fun. It was a musical and turned into a film, and lots of singing, lots of dancing.
I don't know what
Carol
it was.
Carol Burnett was in it.
Yeah,
I love Carol Burnett.
I got to pass on this one too. I don't mean to be crapping all over the list, but we're hitting a dry spot for me. These are hugely epic movies.
This next one, though, if you disagree with the next one, I'm kicking you out of the room and I'm taking over the show. That's all I'm saying.
This next one is one of my 20 favorite films ever made.
Stand By Me. It's based off of a short by Stephen King.
Absolutely.
It's just a great story. The characters are amazing. There's the young Will Wheaton. There's the young Corey Feldman.
Jerry O'Connell, I think, is in the movie.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. Amazing movie.
When I think of like definitive coming of age films, I think of Stand By Me.
Sure.
Epic. Great movie. 2 thumbs up.
It is rated R, which rated R in the 80s and rated R now were not quite the same thing when it comes to that. So,
That's true.
If your kid's over the age of probably 9 or 10, they're probably all right with Stand By Me.
Yeah, I might wait till they're a teenager, but sure.
Next up, The Little Mermaid.
I mentioned this one earlier.
List, yeah.
I did see this one in theaters. We watched this last week, I think. One night Brittany wasn't feeling well. She wanted to watch it, so we put it on. And I love the music. I love the story. I love Ariel is gorgeous to me with those seashells. She's got shiny skin, gorgeous red hair, very kissable lips. Lipstick never seems to fall off, even in the water. Makeup never runs. Most
importantly, it teaches you to follow your dreams no matter what everyone else says you should do.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. How about number 19, The Adventures of Milo and Otis?
I have not seen The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
It's a great movie.
What's like the?
I mean,
real
it's
quick, what's
like
a?
it's like best buddies, but it's a puppy and a kitten, and
Do they have voices?
they have adventures, and yes, they have voices.
And it's not animated, right? It's live
It's not
action.
yeah, it's live action. It's a puppy and a kitten, and the
What-
shenanigans that they get themselves into, but they have voiceover actors for them, and it's just it's adorable, and it's funny, and it's sweet, and I think you would like it.
Okay.
I do not know number 20.
I never heard 20 either.
My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, we can read the description, but I'd never even heard of this one.
According to BuzzFeed, quote, this animated masterpiece is absolutely magical. While it's a rather simple story, writer, director Hayao Miyazaki paints a rich world that feels like it could only exist within the imagination of children.
Cool. Let's go to the next one.
The next one, E.T. I saw that in the theater. I remember seeing that in the theater. If you want to know why your kids should see it, probably because, it's one of the greatest movies of the 80s ever.
That was in theaters before I was born.
And also probably one of the greatest movies of all time. It's Steven Spielberg. It's classic. It's timeless. Lots of heart in the movie.
This was
well
really
written, well
Steven
acted,
Spielberg's
directed.
breakout
Yeah.
directing role. And the movie still holds up. Still a classic. Absolutely.
You know what's
Absolutely.
not on here, though? Are movies like Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's true.
There are no John Hughes movies on here.
I haven't seen any so far. Oh, that was the end, wasn't
That's
it?
the end, and there's no John Hughes.
Okay, well, I would argue that Breakfast Club probably wouldn't be for kids. I'm sorry, 16 Candles probably wouldn't be for kids. Breakfast Club maybe. Those all I think make sense, but
Yeah.
for the most part.